This 25-year-old YouTube creator is making $1 million a month helping other people grow their businesses, and his secret to success is doing less. His less is more way of thinking has grown his channel 80,000 subscribers in 90 days, built him a business that allows him to work when he wants, and enables him to live at one of the most exclusive addresses in the world, the Palm, Dubai. I went to his house to ask him how he's done it, and he revealed the simple marketing strategy generating him millions.
The worse someone's product is, the more they have to spend on marketing to get it to work. And that's why you see all these fancy funnels and crazy stuff, is because like they're essentially like wrapping a turd.
How he went from struggling to land a single client to becoming one of the most successful online course creators on the planet.
I'd be driving, I'm like, oh, maybe I just have like a minor car crash so I don't have to do cold calls today.
The truth about the hours you need to put in to grow a business.
I've been working on that one video for like 2 weeks now.
And some of his more unusual spending habits.
I buy one of these big shipments like once every 2 weeks, so this is probably like $2,000 a month on steak.
To my surprise, Charlie even called up strangers to show you exactly how to turn them into paying clients for yourself.
What's it regarding?
It's regarding client acquisition. I was just checking out your website and I reckon I can get you more appointments.
How much did you make yesterday?
Yesterday we made £19,615 and 25 pence. So what's that, like $26,000, I think?
Shall I verify this?
You can verify it, mate.
It literally says on his screen. Is that in focus? Yeah. Yeah, that's not a bad day's work.
It's not a bad day's work, mate. No, that's kind of typical. We'll do anywhere between like $25,000 to $40,000 a day. We've been doing that now for maybe 6 months straight, so.
So how much do you think you've made since you started when you were 17?
Well, the majority of it would have come in the last 2 years because we sort of exponentially scaled. Probably like 19 million, just shy of 20 million at the moment. We'll probably hit 20 mil in the next month or two, so.
So how did you get into online?
I came across a Ty Lopez ad when I was like, I think 17 years old. I didn't want to go down the normal route of the 9 to 5, and I saw it and I was like, what is this dude doing? Like he's because I thought the only way that you can get rich is if you're like an actor or like a sports person. And I was skinny as hell and I didn't have the confidence to act. So I was like, I'm not gonna be rich, I'm just screwed. And then this Ty Lopez guy's on this advert and he's like, yeah, I'm an entrepreneur. And I didn't know what an entrepreneur was, so I had to like literally Google it and be like, what does this weird French word mean? And that was really what started it for me. I started doing some Googling, some research, bought some courses, and started my first agency, and that would have been, so I'm nearly 26 now, so that was 7, 8 years, 9 years ago nearly.
So you went straight from course to creating a business. How did you have the confidence to just start a company?
Honestly, mate, I didn't. Like, I think your competence becomes your confidence. And I think like everyone at the beginning has this weird paradox where they feel like they need to have the confidence to start or the confidence to do something, but you don't. The only way you build confidence is by becoming competent, and the only way you become competent is by actually doing it. So there's a bit of a catch-22 and a chicken and the egg scenario where like people are like, oh, I don't have confidence, but you just need to do it and get over that fear, basically.
So back then, what would have been your goal?
I mean, if I'm being honest, it was like the financial goal was to make 10K a month, but like I probably just wanted a girlfriend or something. like throughout school and stuff, I was kind of like, you could say, low status for lack of better words. So that was a huge motivator. I wanted like fancy cars and the lifestyle, and I wanted to go to Bali and Thailand and stuff like that. So yeah, it was 10 grand a month was to get there first.
How much does it cost to live here?
It is total 1.3 million AED per year. So it's something like $300,000 a year.
Is it worth it?
Do you know what, man? Like, I think so, because I think just for the like solitude, I'd say it's worth it. It's just amazing to just have this sort of, peace and quiet. Team members come around all the time and they work here as well. So we do get good commercial use out of the place, and it feels pretty worthwhile. So yeah.
How did you build your first business to this 10K a month?
So I did the courses. I started my first little business, didn't really make any money because I didn't have the confidence, right? As you said, I didn't really know what I was doing. Went to uni, and then when I was in uni, I dropped out after 6 months. And then the first thing I did when I dropped out is I went to do an apprenticeship in sales. And that was where I built my first agency whilst also doing this sales apprenticeship, which was cold calling, basically. For my own business, when I was clear of the apprenticeship, I did about 250 to 300 cold calls a day for basically a whole year. Like, just 6 days a week non-stop. It was not fun, it was hell. So I had a call service back home, and my mum and dad wouldn't let me, but I wanted to use the home phone for cold calls, and it was like, 10p a minute, so my dad was like, no way. So I had to take my laptop up to this hill, and I would connect my hotspot to my laptop, and I got like a gift gaff plan as cheap as I could possibly get it. And I basically made cold calls in my Corsa, like in the top of this hill, because the only place there was signal. And so I called this guy called Ian in January of 2020 or 2021, I can't remember now. But he became a client after like a month, and dude, when I got that payment in, it was £1,000, and he wire transferred it. I was I didn't know what to do. I had to go and get my dad, be like, Dad, I don't know what to do. Like, what have I done? And then the next client came from the same thing, from cold calling.
How many calls did it take from one client, one to two? Hundreds again?
Oh, it was hundreds, thousands probably, man.
Just kept going.
Because I didn't know what I was doing. So I drop out of uni, I go to the apprenticeship. The apprenticeship, I'm doing like 200 calls a day. Whilst I'm in the apprenticeship, I'm probably doing maybe 50 to 100 by myself. So I'm building up this sort of portfolio of side hustle clients before I leave the apprenticeship. When I leave the apprenticeship, that's when I go all in on the agency. In between client 1 and client 2, probably took another like 1,000 calls.
Wow.
I don't really know where I found the motivation to keep going, man, because there were times and days in that quarter where like I'm not even joking, this is not a joke, I'd be driving, I'm like, oh, maybe I just have like a minor car crash so I don't have to do cold calls today. I'm not even joking, like I would contemplate it. My mum was very supportive. She was like, you're not quitting that job, you're not, you keep going, so proud of you, blah, blah, blah. And at the time I didn't see how useful that would be, but yeah, it's paid off, I suppose. Most
people after getting knocked back after 2 or 3 sales calls, they probably quit, they're done. What kept you driven? I was just more afraid of what happened if I didn't make it work than if I did. I was more petrified of mediocrity than I was of failure, basically. And I was like, I'm just going to make this work. I don't care if I have to live with my parents for the next like 5 years, and I'm just going to literally not give the universe a choice. That's what literally was kind of, never think about it now, that's how I did it, basically. So how did you end up going from getting to 10K a month to 100K a month?
0 to 10K a month happened in about 6 months.
Six
months.
Fast.
Yeah, at the beginning. Well, it's because it's basically because I finished the apprenticeship, and then I had so much sales experience. All I did is just cold call like 12 hours a day for like maybe literally like 5 months straight, and it just started happening. To go from 10 to 100K a month in terms of how I did that, that was more, well, it was just repeating what already worked, man. Like, at the beginning, I didn't really have any idea what I was doing. It took me 60 sales calls to get my first client, before the sales experience and everything. And 10 to 100K a month was just about repeating what already worked and just giving it time. I think that's the main variable that people don't account for, is time. Like they'll ask you like, what's the best funnel and what's the best sales script and what's the best like product to sell? But really, if you just do one thing for a really long time and every day you go to sleep a little bit better at that one thing than when you woke up, then give it 7 years, you'll be a millionaire. That's literally how I did it. There was no massive secret, to be honest.
Okay, so that's getting to 100K. How on earth do you stay driven when you're making $1 million a month? Because I'd have probably retired and be living in the Bahamas by now.
I realized that if I stop working, I'm miserable. And I know that sounds like I'm a work addict, which means I probably am. I've got some stuff to work on, but I could do the retiring thing and go and sit in the Bahamas, but there's only so many cocktails you can drink before your life just falls apart and you become miserable. At least in my instance, like if I'm not working towards something or if I don't have something to work on, I get really unhappy, man. Like I think about the happiest days of my life are when I was just like grinding and working. Like I really find a lot of value and meaning in that. So yeah, I don't think it matters how much money I have. I always want to keep working, man. Otherwise
Interesting, because when I messaged you earlier, I said we're coming over. What did you say to me?
I was watching Yellowstone.
Yeah, 2 in the afternoon, which I think a lot of people think this is all about grind, and you do work hard.
Today I woke up and I went to sit at my desk and I went to start doing this PDF resource that I've been working on for like 2 weeks. And I started doing it and my brain just wasn't there. So I was like, all right, I'm just gonna take the morning off. And I think like a lot of people look at that sort of way of thinking and they demonize it and they think that like time off and like relaxing is evil and bad and it's against the monk mode protocol. But it couldn't really be any further than the truth, because if you can't register and recognize when you're burned out and you don't relax, then all you're going to do is like extend and elongate the period of burnout. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I used to have this thing where like I would work for like months on end and I wouldn't take a break for like, maybe 3-4 months at a time, even like on weekends and stuff. And I'd feel myself burned out and I'd feel my brain starting to sort of diminish and my health and everything goes down the bin. And I'd be like, no, monk mode, you've got to push through, you've got to have discipline, red pill this, red pill that. All you're doing is you're extending the amount of time that you have to take off after that period. So now I'm way more strategic, I'm way more fluid with it. I don't beat myself up for taking time off. So like, it's like 12 p.m. I was watching Yellowstone earlier. Like I've been watching like TV, reading and stuff whenever I feel like it. But you know, the time freedom's good as well.
What do you do for fun?
Talk to you.
Apart from that, that's not very fun, Charlie.
I don't know, we go to the pub and stuff, but not like, nothing too crazy. Like, I think there's this massive misconception of like the Dubai lifestyle, where it's all like, you know, yachts and models and racetracks, and like, you can do that if you want to, but you're not gonna build anything. Do you know what I mean? I think it's how a lot of people get stuck, is they come here and then they start having the crazy lifestyle, spending all this money on like dinners, and they forget what got them here in the first place. Like, it happens to all the major athletes. Do you hear about what happened to Michael Jordan?
No.
He got to the best of his game, and then he started getting all the publicity and all the like, you know, attention and media and like lifestyle and followers and stuff. And after a while, he got distracted and started losing. And then what happened is he basically just said to his agent, I'm not doing any interviews, no books, no podcasts. I don't think they're podcasts by then, but you know what I mean. Like no media, no nothing. Stopped talking to all the models, didn't go on any parties, and then just got the best and won. And now he's remembered as the best athlete in the world. So I think Dubai, like, this house is amazing, but it is like a, I don't know, it is like a golden prison in that sense, where if you're not careful, you'll get lured in by all the vices that Dubai has to offer.
In terms of your current business, is EasyGrow?
EasyGrow, yeah.
Can you explain how you get a client?
Yeah.
And then how you look after them? Like, what is the process in its simplest form?
Yeah, sure. So the company is called Imperium, or Imperium Acquisition, and then we have the product EasyGrow. And what we essentially do is we've got, well, really three main sources of traffic. So we have YouTube ads, we have YouTube organic, and then we have the outbound setters and the Loom system that we use to send cold emails. I'll explain it from an inbound perspective. It's probably the easiest and most relatable for like YouTube and stuff. So I make YouTube videos, or we make YouTube ads. People then go through to a funnel where they opt in to watch a VSL, video sales letter, like to convince them to book a call. People schedule an appointment. One of our 9 to 12 sales reps picks that up. I say 9 to 12 because we've nearly got 12 people on board. So a team of like 10 sales reps basically. And they take the call. They use like a proven system that we've, like a script and stuff that's converted. Clients then sign, they buy, and then they get converted into the program, and then they go through the content and start getting results. The info model is extremely efficient in the fact that you can have that time freedom and you can sit back, but it's very sort of front load heavy in regards to the fact that it takes a ton of work to do at the beginning. But once you've built it, and you can relate to this with what you've just built with your course as well, once you've built it and it works, like, you really do have that freedom to do what you want, basically.
So how many people have you got working?
Well, in our indirect employee, we've probably got about 30.
So at the moment then, you've got your YouTube, you've got your ads. What's the kind of split and makeup between YouTube ads and then where the business comes from YouTube?
Yeah. So like I said, we've got the three sources, so outbound, inbound, and ads. Inbound obviously being the YouTube. It used to be very, very binary with a 33 split. We ran some metrics in the background where we compiled every single call we'd ever conducted or taken from every single source. And we looked at things like show rate, average order value, conversion rate, and we found that YouTube ads converts the best. So what we're in the process of doing now is removing the outbound side of things and just going heavy on YouTube ads. So right now the split is probably more like, I'd say maybe 60% comes from ads, and then maybe 30% comes from the YouTube channel and 10% from the outbound stuff.
So how many people apply a month to work with you guys?
We get probably about 1,500 sales calls, discovery calls. So I count them as applications because they are sort of filtered through a minor qualifying process. Yeah, and then we might convert 15 to 25% of those into clients, which is good.
So it's just constant people coming in?
Just constant, yeah. But one thing we do have with the program is like a subscription. So obviously people come in, and after a certain period of time, they can either leave or they can choose to stay on for a fee, which is already agreed with them when they sign up. And a lot of people stay because they just like the community, they like the coaching calls. So it's not. We want to try and avoid the revolving door model where you just bring people in and just, you know, pump, because it doesn't sustain. So yeah.
How do you build a killer product?
Suffering. Honestly, man, like, that's honestly the best way to do it. And, you know, anyone who's ever built anything worthwhile has put themselves through a serious amount of pain for it. And I think a lot of people with the course on the online model is they try and like put the course together as quickly as they possibly can and then just get it launched, they want it done. But if you want to build a killer product, like something that actually works, it's just time. And then people are like, but I don't really know like what to put in the videos. Well, you go and do your research. Like, you know, like one case in point, like I've been working on, there's this one video called 8-Figure Philosophy, which is like all the abstractions and mental models you use to get to like $1 million a month. And I've been working on that one video for like 2 weeks now. And like that's how long most people spend on their entire course. So it is just like you just have to suffer. And how do you suffer? It's just you have to have love for your clients. I know that sounds cliche, and it's like one of those, like, you know, corporate principles, like put the client first, like, you know. But the thing is because I was where my clients were, it matters so much more, if that makes sense. So that's why I'm able to, you know, like Nietzsche said, he who has a why can bear any how. So because I'm helping people who were I know exactly what the people are going through at the beginning, the people who are just starting, or the people who, you know, have a client or two, but they're still struggling to scale and they can't grow. Like, I know how painful that is. So when I'm like working on that, I'm like, it feels like I'm doing something good. It's like, it's almost like it feels philanthropic to a degree, where, like, you know, you're actually helping people. And I think a lot of people just sell crap courses, and yeah, I don't like that.
How many hours do you think you've put into it so far? Because yours continually evolves, right? You don't just stop.
Probably over 10,000.
10,000.
Yeah. Into Easy Grow. I think, well, because so when I built the first version of the product, it took maybe 2 months, and then when I built Easy Grow itself, it took 9 months to make, and that was just non-stop. And bear in mind, I wasn't watching Yellowstone or anything then. That was like pure.
You shaved your head for that, right?
I shaved my head for it, mate.
Why did you shave your head?
Because I didn't want to go to the barber, because I wanted to save time so I could keep working on this thing. I know earlier I said it's not about monk mode, it's about decisions and not how hard you work, but there's a time and a place to enter that realm of work and discipline and pure commitment, and there's a time to be more relaxed and more laid back and chill. And so back to the question. So I spent 9 months on Easy Grow. In fact, there's a module in Easy Grow called Acquisition Genesis, which is a series of 11 videos which explains the problem we solve is acquisition, right? So those videos explain like how to solve the client acquisition problem, how to think about it, how to see it. And it's the most important thing in your paradigm. For every hour of content there, it took me 30 hours to make. So that's like a huge one. And then I recently just spent 4 months on a new course called Consulting Nirvana. So I've spent like, I don't know, if you added it all up, like in terms of actual work days, probably like 18 months on it. And that's, I don't know if that's 10,000 hours or not, but it's been a good like 8 to 12 hours a day for like, you know, 5-6 days a week non-stop for like a year and a half. But I've built other courses before in like the olden days. In terms of making content, I spent more than 10,000 hours, but on the program, like 18 months. Yeah. It makes me feel safe. Like, you know, there's this Warren Buffett quote that says like, he'll only invest in businesses that have like a moat, which is like a competitive advantage. I know firmly that the only way that someone will beat me is if they make a better product. And in order for them to do that, they're going to have to go through what I've gone through to build it. Imagine you're walking through like a field of thorns to get poetic. Like every extra day you work on your product, that field becomes longer and longer, and someone else to beat you has to walk through that thing. Yeah. And the length of what you've walked is what they have to walk, and then they have to go beyond that. They can beat you in the short term by out-marketing you and by having like launches and shiny objects and like, you know, crazy new products and this, that, and the other. But like in the long term, like over a decade or like a 5-year time horizon, the only way someone can defeat another person in business is if they have a better product. So I just feel like it's all product, man. Like, it's so important. You
mentioned you can outmarket someone.
Yeah.
But one thing that's quite interesting about what you do is your marketing is super simple compared to most people.
Yeah, yeah.
So the average person is make some content, send them to a lead magnet, send them to a 5 email course sequence, and then there's all these things going on and off, and then they'll take into a video that's like 3 hours long that's trying to convert them.
Yeah.
Yours just goes to a page with testimonials on it, and your VSL.
Yeah, well, you can get this from like a mental model from physics. You can use friction as an example. So like in physics, friction is basically like how much force is required to move something. And like what we're doing when we're building funnels and trying to get customers is we're getting people to move. And the like conversion loves simplicity. So the more hoops that someone has to jump through and the more things someone has to do to become a client, it might seem clever from a marketing Russell Brunson perspective to have all these crazy things, but like my philosophy is just like great offer, great product, and just tell people about it. So I don't like to have these super long, complicated funnel processes because they just don't work. Like with Imperium Acquisition, we've made what, like $17 million in the last couple of years. And my landing page literally is just a video of me saying, this is a funnel. I'm here to sell you something. And if you don't like that, you can click off. And it's just transparent marketing, man. It works so well.
You literally just talk about what you do.
I literally just say, look, like this is a funnel. This is a VSL. This is a sales video. And I'm here to get you to book a call because I want to make money. Now that that's out of the way, here's my product. This is the offer. This is what we do. If you like the look of it, you can schedule a call.
Hey everyone, it's Charlie Morgan and welcome to this funnel. Now, I'll be very honest. This is a sales funnel. You and I are both marketers, right? And you and I both know that the reason that this funnel exists is to see if I can encourage you to schedule an appointment, and I'm hoping that with this video I can make a good case in point.
And that just
How long did it take you to make that video?
I just did it in one take.
I mean, I know people who have written these for like months.
Well, I know people that I know people that spend like, they're like, oh, I've got to build a VSL. I'm like, so? And they're like, oh, so it'll take like 3 weeks. I'm like, mate, just sit down and just be honest with people. The worse someone's product is, the more they have to spend on marketing to get it to work. And that's why you see all these fancy funnels and crazy stuff, is because like they're essentially like wrapping a turd, you know? Like if your thing's not a poo, you don't have to spend much time hiding it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like imagine going through like this crazy funnel only to find that someone's built this crap. It's crazy, man.
What's in the box?
In the box we have some steak. So I ordered every 2 weeks to do a meat delivery. So I've ordered 30 ribeyes. This is actually, to be fair, I got rump steaks in there, and then 30 ribeyes basically.
Why have you got so much meat?
Well, that's all I eat, mate.
You just eat meat?
Just eat meat. Yeah, I'm on carnivore.
Why are you doing this to yourself?
Just for my health, man. Like I kept getting like sick and I was tired and stuff like that. And then my doctor was like, you should try an elimination diet. So I looked into it and just thought, what's the most extreme version I could do? And I was just like, I'll just try carnivore. It's expensive, but it works. I feel incredible. Like I've actually got energy for like...
How much was a shipment of meat?
This is all probably about like £750.
So it's about $1,000.
Yeah, about $1,000. I probably spend... I buy one of these big shipments like once every 2 weeks. So this is probably like $2,000 a month on steak. You got the freezer, and then you've also got the fridge full of steaks, and then my business partner who also lives here has got eggs and salmon, but I'm just on red meat, so.
What's this?
Bone broth. Bone broth. Yeah, I know, mate. I felt like getting a little bit spicy, mixing it up a bit. But yeah, and then just Cholula hot sauce, which I also allow myself to eat. Why do you only have one product? Because of focus. So there's this famous interview, and in this interview, I'm not sure if it's an interview or like an episode or something, where Warren Buffett and Bill Gates are sat down, and this interviewer separates them. She says to Warren Buffett, she says, what's the most important thing to being successful? And he says, focus. She goes over to Bill Gates and says, what's the most important thing? And Bill Gates says, focus as well. And so I think the reason I've only got one product right now is because I wanted to find the limit of singular focused info business scale. And I want to try and get to, $2 million a month, maybe even beyond that with just one product, just to see if it's possible, which I think it might be with a big enough sales force. But second of all, like, I build new stuff all the time, and I create new courses for the program. So the program's like a collection, like a massive collection of courses. And what I could do is when I build a new course, like the recent one, Consultant Nirvana, is I could sell it as a separate thing. But like I like the idea of just having all of my competitive advantage in one basket. So then I'm only competing on one thing, and I've only got one thing. And it's kind of like if you look at the biggest companies in the world, like they all, generally speaking, they have a very select range of products. Like if you look at Apple, for example, they've only got an iPhone, an iPad, and a Mac. And then obviously they've got some like headphones and some other stuff as well. But like generally speaking, they're like $1 trillion company, and they've only got a couple of products. Same with Google. Like their main product is obviously search. Now they've obviously got Google Docs and like 100 other things as subsidiaries as well. But like even Amazon they have one product, which is just the combination of the fastest shipping, lowest prices, biggest availability. And so I just like this philosophy of just focus on one thing. And I think it's better to be deep in one thing than shallow in lots of different things. We are eventually going to have a mastermind. That's obviously the next logical step to build that out. But for now, I haven't felt a need to have another thing, man. Like I see all these people with like, like they've got like an ebook, and then they've got a low ticket community, and then they've got like a high ticket upsell, then they've got a mastermind, then they've got like, a cohort, and then no offense, then they've got like a boot camp.
I don't have a cohort anymore.
And then they've got like 7 different things, and they make like so much less money than everybody else who just has one thing. Like you can get one product to $1 million a month. And it's like it's so much easier as well because of something called operational drag. So operational drag is an abstraction in business used to define the you could say friction or complication of moving parts. So what that means is like if you have one product, that means that you have one funnel. It means that you have one offer, one sales script, one sales team, one onboarding process, one sales gateway, one community, one support ticket type. And you have one of everything. And 1 multiplied by 1 multiplied by 1 is just 1, right? So it's simple, it's clean and lean. But let's say you have 3 products. Well, now you've got 3 funnels, 3 sales processes, 3 teams. And if you do 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 3 or whatever, it's ridiculous. And so one thing, it just makes you lean, it makes you incredibly powerful, and you just pick. People get too greedy, man. They think, oh, I need to have more of the market, but really less is so much more.
What have you done recently to grow your YouTube channel? Was it like 80,000 subscribers in 3 months?
Yeah, we kind of blew it up, man. We went from like 40,000 subs to like 110,000 subs in like 2-3 months. Well, so I was making certain content like social media marketing agency content. And I had the like Iman Gaji background, and I had the crazy editing, and I had the black screen and the fancy light that made my eyes burn. And like, I just got so sick of it, man. Like the content I was making the same videos. I was just like, this is boring. I wouldn't even watch this content. So then I asked myself, I was like, what content on YouTube do I actually watch? Like, what do I go to? I used to watch old Alex Becker content, original. I can't watch the Hormozy stuff now because it's too like dopamine-y. I can't do it. But the old Hormozy stuff when he was just in his office, and then Sam Ovens' old content as well, and then some like old Patrick Bet-David content as well. And that was what I enjoyed, and that was what I liked. So I was like, one day, I bought the whiteboard in my office, and I got it put up, and I was like, I'm just going to make a video like with a whiteboard for an hour. And I'm going to post it. And I thought it was going to 10 out of 10 and flop and just completely suck. And I just started making videos I wanted to make. And I made videos that I knew that if I saw that video in my recommended thing, I would click it. That's kind of my rule. And this is the benefit I have of being the market in that way. I know the market better than it knows itself because I was the market, and I've gone through the stages of transition that they want to go through, so I know what to put in front of them to get them to click. And I just started making whiteboard content, mate. I was just like, and then that video I posted did really well, and I was like, all right, we'll turn the recording studio into a bedroom, which is what we did. I was also way more authentic. Like, you know, I just started to be like myself more and just make like more jokes and just, not that they're funny, right? But I started to just mess around a little bit, and people seem to resonate with it. Everyone's so sick of like the perfectly engineered lifestyles and the Sigma male testosterone knowledge college man who's all like, you know, perfect and chiseled and incredible. But I think people just prefer the authentic thing. Like, I'm sat here in Crocs in a t-shirt that cost £10 and a watch that was 30 quid. And like, I think a lot more people resonate with that than they do with the, like, you know, supermodels and 200 grand watches and stuff. It's just, it's not real.
Talking of supermodels, what is going on with your thumbnail strategy? I get messages from people being like, this is the worst thumbnail I've ever seen, but at the same time, it's the best.
Well, are you referring to the most recent one?
Yeah, I'm just all of them. They're awful, but for some reason, I kind of want to click on them.
Well, it's the same thing, man. It's like, it's the same thing with like the videos. It's just the authenticity, but I'm just having fun. I made the thumbnail that you referred to a while ago where it was just me with like 3 cigars in my mouth. And like, I'm just being myself. I'm just like, I'm having, because like beforehand it was, I'd like sit and like, do I want like this color on the thumbnail? And now I'm just like, I don't give a crap. Like, it's like, I've kind of come to this conclusion with YouTube where now that the ads are kicking over and doing so well, I can just afford to have more fun with the YouTube channel. And I just don't care. Like, if, you know, it's like with the thumbnails, I'll just be like, what would make me laugh? And what would make me think, yeah, that's funny, I'll click that and see what he has to say. And then I just do that, basically. So, yeah.
You said something interesting to me the other day. You said, I've noticed that the more fun I have on YouTube, the better the videos do.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, people can tell. People can tell, like, when you've got like a rod up your ass and you're reading from a script and you really don't want to do it. And that was what I did for like so long. I'll commonly make a joke that my favorite feature of the house is the Evian wall. Yeah. But the Evian wall's fallen a little bit recently. It's usually up to about here. I mean, we probably spend like maybe $2,000-3,000 a month on water.
Why?
Yeah, man. Because if I'm going to be consuming like, you know, 6 liters of something a day, I want it to be the best I can find. And like, Dubai water's not that great, so it's fine. You can drink it, but maybe I'm just a pretentious asshole. Probably that.
Maybe. I mean, you don't waste your money on dumb stuff, do you?
Well, no, I don't have Lamborghinis or fancy watches or anything. But like, when it comes, except from the Casio, mate, that's a staple.
It's a classic.
But when it comes to health, I'll just spend everything I can just to get the best inputs.
What are the 3 most important things in business?
The most important thing is the product, I think. Then I would say sales ability, because you need to be able to sell the product. And then probably emotional management. If you have a great product and you know how to sell it, then you're going to make money. But when you make that money, does it go to your head? Do you start buying stupid crap and do you stop focusing on the business? So I think I say really those are really the only 3 things that you do need. Obviously there's other stuff like team. That's the huge thing is the team, the quality of the talent you have, like the culture of a business, like that, this, and the other. But at first principle, if you have something that can solve someone's problem, you know how to communicate it properly and convince them to buy it, and you can keep your brain in check and not be an idiot, then typically that's all you really need, at least in my experience, I think.
If someone is currently employed and wants to start a business, how do they get there, considering they can't just give up their job?
Yeah, of course. So you've got responsibilities, you've got potentially kids, mortgage, etc. It's a dichotomy because you're never going to be considered, I would say, successful until you're all in. Because to get to the point where you're making 6, 7, 8 figures, you have to be all in. You have to be. But if I was employed, man, I would just find it in me to work outside of the employment. This is what I did at the beginning. My day at the start, when I had my apprenticeship, I was employed, right? And I started my first agency and I got to, 5, 10K a month pretty quickly. And my job would start at 9:30, finish at 5:30. So typical 9 to 5 with a 1 hour lunch break at 1 p.m. And like I said, I would turn up to the office at 7:30 and make cold calls for 2 hours, and I'd work for 2 hours before my work. Then I'd give my all to the job because I was obligated to do that. And then on my lunch break, I would cram a meal deal. Like, for anyone who doesn't know, a meal deal in the UK, it's a delicacy, it's a fine cuisine. I'd always go for the bacon and chicken pasta, coconut water and sensations.
This is like a £3.
This was a £3 job, mate. That was 1 hour of work at the apprenticeship as well. It was £3.50 an hour. And then I'd cram a meal deal at lunch as fast as I could. And then on my lunch, I'd get in my Corsa, I'd drive to a little lay-by, and I'd make more cold calls or work on client stuff in my car, just like hunched up over my laptop with my 4G. Finish work at 5:30, back home by 6, more calls, more work, finish by 9 p.m. and I just repeat that. Do it for a year. It sucks. It will burn you out. It will depress you. It will make you won't sleep properly. Your health will go to crap. You'll be stressed. But like, if you really want it, you can do it. But it's not fucking easy. It's really, really, really hard. And I think that's the thing is, people, they think it's going to be easy and they think, oh, I'll just quit my job and I'll make a little course. And it's not. It takes real grit and real work. It's possible to do with a job, but it's just very difficult. So if you want to do it, you can. It's just a question of how much.
At what point do you quit the job, and what happened when you quit the job?
Yeah, so when I quit my job, my income just doubled. So like with the business, it just, because I went all in, and I could dedicate all that time that was going to the apprenticeship, which was like the main portion of my day. At what point you quit the job is truthfully, it's down to whenever feels right. Because if you've got obligations, if you've got responsibilities, a wife and kids, a mortgage, an AstroTurf to pay off or something as well, you got an A3 on the driveway that's on finance. People finance the weirdest stuff, man. Like, I would say it makes sense to quit the job when you've been consistently making the same amount of money as the job for maybe 3 to 6 months. Because just people get to a certain level of income, they might make 10 grand in 1 month, and then they say, I make 10 grand a month.
Yeah.
But you've just done it 1 month. Do it for 12, and then you make 10 grand a month,
What's the biggest mistake people make in online business?
Impatience, time, not giving it enough time, quitting, basically. If you pick one thing, and like I said, every day you go to sleep a little bit better at that thing than you were when you woke up, and you do that for like 7 years, then you'll be a millionaire. The biggest variable that no one accounts for is time. Everyone is so focused on like what crypto do you buy? What funnel do you use? Like, what YouTube channel do I start? Do I do a low ticket or a high ticket? But the one thing that people don't account for is time. Like, I truly, hand on heart, can say it's the most important thing. It's just picking something and sticking to it.
All right, so I take everything away from you. The YouTube channel,
You horrible man.
Sorry, but I need to do this for the good of the question, right? Everything's gone.
Yeah.
You have your knowledge, you don't have a network, you don't have a following, you have absolutely nothing. What are you doing to get back to 100K a month as fast as you can? Yeah,
I think I've thought this through a lot. Not because I hope it's not going to happen, but sometimes I'll thought experiment this out, so I have a very good answer for you. This honestly would be exactly what I do. So everything's gone. Like, I'm just stood there naked in my Crocs with nothing, right?
I didn't say you were naked in your Crocs, but you
implied it.
Not one point did I imply that. Oh, let's roll with it.
We're in Dubai, we're going to get in trouble. What I would do is I would cold call businesses, like B2B companies. So it has to be B2B, first of all. Let's say marketing agencies, business coaches, recruitment agencies or whatever. And I'll call them up and I would say, I'm going to set appointments for you, and I'm going to do it on a pure pay-per appointment basis. I'm going to do it through cold calling. So all I want you to do is you give me, let's say you give me $2,000 right now. I'm going to guarantee that I book you 20 qualified appointments. And if I don't, then I'm going to refund you the difference. So I'm going to guarantee you 20 appointments. You're going to give me $2 grand up front, or maybe you don't do it up front if you don't trust me, but hopefully with my sales skills you would. And let's say I only booked you 15 appointments in the next 30 days. What I would then do is I'd refund you the difference of $500. Because I have this, it's what I call an upfront discrepancy and guarantee model, where people don't know how to strike the balance between charging money up front, but also making it risk-free and having a good offer. So you guarantee a certain number of appointments, you set a value on those appointments, you collect that cash up front, then you go and do the work, and if you don't generate the promise, then you refund the difference. I'd cold call, as many businesses as I could and be like, look, it's a very simple offer. You give me what sort of leads you want, I'll go and make those calls and book them into your appointments. And then what I'd do is I'd start building a little army of cold callers where you pay them down 40% of the appointment cost. So if I'm booking appointments for you at $100 each, and I've got my mate Jim, who is very articulate and charming, but otherwise useless, I'm going to give him a phone, I'm going to give him a Skype account, he's going to make calls on your behalf using my script and proven method, and then I'm going to pay him, 40%, so $40, and I'm going to keep 60. And then I'd have an army, and then that's literally how I do it. And then after doing that for maybe 30 people successfully, I'd start a course on how to cold call for that niche, sell it for like 10 grand. Then I'd also make YouTube videos as well, live cold calling. It would literally just be me, like for hours on end, just making calls. Like, this is what it's like, cold calling vlog or whatever.
I would love to watch you ring someone up and be like, give me $2 grand, I'm going to set these calls. It'd be amazing.
Should we do it?
Who would you call?
I don't know, I'll find a marketing agency and try and get on the program.
Sure, let's do it.
Should we do it? Bear in mind, I haven't made a cold call now for like 3 years. I hate this sound, man. Come on. Hey there, is that Oh, fantastic. Listen, you're going to hate me. I'm actually a salesperson.
Well, you could start the conversation.
I know. Look, can I grab 30 seconds, or would you rather I leave you alone?
What's it regarding?
It's regarding client acquisition. I was just checking out your website, and I reckon I can get you more appointments. If you give me 2 seconds, I'll explain
I don't
how.
want any more appointments, if I'm completely honest.
Okay, fair enough. How long's that been going on for?
Sorry?
How long's that been going on for? Is that recent, or are you fully booked? What's the situation?
Yeah, I'm pretty much fully booked. So at the moment, I've got a wait list. It's pretty much me, myself, and I. I appreciate it. I use a few freelancers, which I outsource things to.
Oh my goodness.
But yeah,
that is absolutely amazing. I mean, everyone I talk to seems to have the opposite problem, so maybe I should be learning from you.
Oh.
I am curious to know this. Do you want to expand? Would you want potential sales reps, people call on your behalf, or are you happy with what you're doing?
No, you're not the first person to say that to me. No, it's not something I'm interested in.
Fair enough. No, I respect it. Well, listen, that's one less person that hates me today. Have a wonderful day.
You take care.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
All right, that was no good. We'll try one more.
I love the opener.
Huh?
You would have got me with the opener straight away.
It's the thing, man. You just disarm them. Like, there's many ways to do it, but this is what I used to do. Let's try somebody else here.
At what point do you go, I give in?
When there's no problem. So like with that woman, for example, like there's no pain. She's not in any pain. There's no value to add, which means that she's never going to book an appointment. It's like if you said to someone, are you thirsty? And you're trying to sell water and they say, oh no, I'm not thirsty. So you haven't got a leg to stand on. You might as well just move on to the next person,
Do you feel nervous before you take a call?
Not anymore. At the beginning, like, oh.
Hello?
Hey, is that?
Yes.
Oh, fantastic. Look, you're going to hate my guts. I'm here to try and sell you something. Would you like to give me a minute, or would you rather I leave you alone?
What do you want to sell?
Sorry, my friend, you broke up there. Could you say that again?
Actually, office problem. Cannot listen properly.
Oh, yeah, the connection's not too great. Do you think it's my end or your end?
Can you call back tomorrow?
I'll try and call you back. Let's try him again. If not, we'll try someone else. Hello?
Hello?
Hey, it's me again. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. As I was saying, I'm here to try and sell you something. I didn't catch your response, though.
All right.
Is that okay? I'm allowed to, or would you rather I leave you alone?
Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Cool. Well, look, I've got an opportunity to help you get more clients for the agency. I know you've probably heard this 1,000 different times from 1,000 different people. Difference with us is we actually guarantee that you sign 20 clients in the next 6 months, and it's all on a pay on results basis as well, so we completely reverse the risk. I know that you're probably smack bang in the middle of something now and haven't got the time to give me, but I'm just wondering if I could schedule you in for a quick call, perhaps tomorrow or maybe Monday next week.
All right.
Fantastic. Okay. If you give me your email, I will reach out and just schedule the appointment through there.
Okay. SierraHotel@gmail.com.
Thank you so much. Have a good day. Take care, and what was your name, my friend?
Thank you.
I'm Charlie. Nice to meet you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. So you would never, ever take their email. You'd always book the thing on the call, but because I haven't got my Calendly open, I can't book him in. But that's how you do it, basically.
So you would have gone straight to, can I book you in right now?
I would have gone straight to booking the call.
Okay.
But basically, we're fully booked, so it doesn't really...
So that was 2?
That was in 2 calls, yeah. It's really that simple. And what I would do is I'd schedule a call with him, maybe for like half an hour, and I'd say to him, okay, what do you sell? What do you do? Like, what do you want to sell more of, et cetera, et cetera. And then I'd be like, okay, well, look, using the exact same principle that I used to get you on this call and qualify you, I can book maybe 10, 20 people a month into your calendar. Are you willing to pay £150 per qualified call that comes in? He'd probably say yes, it's pay on results, right? And then I'd start calling for him. And then, you know, once I'm out of capacity, probably do maybe 2-3 clients max, and I'd go and find my friends who need jobs and just train them up and stuff like that. But I just do this all day, man. Like, once you get past the fear of doing it for like a couple of weeks, you just flow. What I just did there, I would just do for like 12 hours a day for like a year, and then I'd be 100 grand a month.
It sounds boring though.
It is. This is the thing, business is bloody boring.
Yeah,
man. It's
I look at my life and I'm like, it's kind of fun now.
Yeah.
But then I had to do a lot of crap at the same time.
Well, I bet when you started, it was all like boring and crap.
It was hell.
Yeah, it's horrible, mate. I wouldn't want to restart. Like, you know, at the beginning, it's just misery. It's pure, like.
Would you start again?
No.
No.
If I had to, then obviously, of course. But this is why, like, trust me, I don't want to be making cold calls. Like, it's fine. It might seem like I enjoy it and I get a kick out of it, but I prefer making products for my clients and stuff like that. But this is the thing people don't want to do. Everyone, the entrepreneur lifestyle is so heavily glamorized that people start, and after a year, they don't have the glamour. They just have a dark office with Skype ringing in their ears when they try to sleep, which is what I had. But I've been working on this now for like 7-8 years. It takes like a really long time and a lot of work. And then you can have the mansion and the beach and the fancy sauna that looks like a portal to hell, you know. But until then, you just got to work, man. But yeah, that's what I would do.
That was great.
And if you'd like to see an epic deep dive behind the scenes of Charlie's business and how he makes millions a month online, then watch this video next and prepare to have your mind blown.